Hi, welcome to Ani Recapped. Today, I will explain a 2013 mystery called Howl. Spoilers ahead, watch out, and take care. The movie opens in futuristic Japan where we see a robot playing in a creek. Some old man can be seen next to it, and it looks like he is the robot's guardian. He calls for it and the robot arrives. As they have a talk, a plane can be seen flying over them. The robot stares as the plane bursts into flames and eventually explodes. Then the old man looks at his device that is connected to robot eyes, and he collapses. Then we hear how a guy called Howl has died on the plane. A love of his life called Kurumi is left alone in this world, and she does not want to live anymore without Howl. She became depressed and does not want to communicate with anyone. The man from the beginning is then seen once again. He tells the robot that he must go help the girl. He will contact her posing as Howl, and he will do everything in his power to make her feel better. Through a high-tech advanced procedure, the robot then takes a form of a human boy. He now looks exactly like Howl, but he knows nothing about being human, so he must learn and adapt. As they travel to introduce new Howl to Kurumi, the doctor who is helping him on his journey shows him a Rubik's Cube. He says how the cube, if adjusted properly, can show him what a person desires the most. If you solve it, it will help expose someone's wishes. As they walk to her home, after some adjusting, Howl solves the cube for the first time and it says, "Days with Kurumi." That means that Howl wanted to spend some time with Kurumi right before he died. That was Howl's final desire. Howl then reaches Kurumi's home. She sees him and hides herself, telling him she does not want to talk to him. Howl is clueless as to why she acts like this, because he does not understand human emotions. She then explains how she does not want a robot to help her with anything, and that the care center did a stupid thing by sending this fake Howl to her. The robot, or Howl, then gives her a paper and tells her to sign it if she really does not want him, but she leaves the paper unsigned. Howl decides to stay and later goes through Kurumi's stuff. He finds yet another Rubik's Cube and works on it. He solves it and it says cooking with Howl, meaning that Kurumi wanted to hang out with her boyfriend in the kitchen. He gives her the cube telling her he knows her wishes, but she throws it away saying she does not want anything. He goes to her kitchen and makes her a meal, and leaves it close to her. In the morning he goes to check on her. He notices she tasted some of the meal he cooked for her. He tells her he is going to town. She stops him and gives him some clean clothes, that way alarming him he made a mess the day before while he was in the kitchen. Howl then visits the market and sits in front of the bakery. Some kids hang out with him and play with his Rubik's Cube. One kid solves it and it says, "I want a pet giraffe." Howl instantly goes online and looks for a giraffe since Kurumi obviously likes them very much. He finds one, but it is extremely expensive, and he cannot afford it. Kids then show up and tell him they found another one nearby. Then we see an old man sitting on a bench with a giraffe next to him. Howl checks its price and it says 0 yen, meaning it is free. Howl thinks it is weird, but it's okay with him. Howl is then seen in a care center, and he is talking to the doctor. He explains what he has done for Kurumi so far and tells a story about the giraffe. He says that he took it since it said 0 yen, but the seller then attacked him. According to an elderly lady who lives there, this does not imply that it is free. It actually means it is priceless, and that is why the seller reacted in aggressive manner. There is another old lady there who knows the seller, but she does not want to help Howl. She approaches him and tells him stealing is wrong, but then she sees a button. She immediately asks him if that is a button from Kurumi, and he says yes. Then she grabs the phone and has a quick chat with the seller. It turns out that Kurumi helped the lady in the past, and now she is in her debt. The old lady arranges everything and Howl goes to pick up the giraffe. The doctor helps him, and the two of them carry it to Kurumi's home. Meanwhile, Kurumi is seen at her place looking at Howl's memories using some small gadget. The gadget looks a bit broken, so she works on it and then hears someone downstairs. It is Howl and he is back with the giraffe. She shows herself for a brief moment and leaves a message for Howl, thanking him for the gift. The following day, Howl takes a walk and stumbles upon a guy called Ryu. He calls him Howl and it seems like he was his good friend. Ryu mentions something about an argument between Howl and Kurumi, then flees as some suspicious-looking men pursue him. Back at home, Howl has a real conversation with Kurumi for the first time. He asks her if Howl was mean to her, but she says that people talk about it although it actually never happened. She then activates that memory gadget and shows him a memory. She and Hal are seen having an argument because he sold her buttons. Hal owned a shop and one day he sold all the buttons Kurumi had been collecting for the longest time, and that made her very mad. The next day Hal again visits the doctor and he asks about Ryu. Doctor explains how Ryu was Hal's old friend, and that they were involved in illegal activities a long time ago. Hal then receives the cube again, and it says Gion Festival. He asks about the festival, and everyone tells him to inquire with Kurumi's grandfather about it. He visits the old man, but if you take a good look at him you will see that he is actually the man from the beginning of the movie, the one who sent the robot to help the girl. They have a talk and he gives Hal ceremonial clothes for Kurumi and himself. The old man tells him how the real Hal was in big debt ever since he was a kid. When he was a small boy, he had a sick heart, so his parents bought him a new one. Since they couldn't pay the loan, they abandoned Hal. Hal then goes home and talks to Kurumi. Then we see a memory in which they sit in a bar and talk about the money. Hal states how money opens many doors, but Kurumi does not agree with that statement. Back at their place, she shows Hal a button that represents Hal's heart, and she connects it to his robe. Later they go out and have some fun at the Gion Festival. They also visit Hal's shop where we see multiple Rubik's Cubes. It seems like she is finally accepting Hal the way he is now. They visit their favorite bar and then wait for the sunset. As Hal was playing in the river, Ryu suddenly appears, but he is not alone. He is accompanied by the two mobsters and they encircle Kurumi. Ryu tells him he needs the money, and that he can sell Kurumi if he does not have it. Hal and Kurumi fight them and run away. As they are running, Kurumi falls into the river and Hal wants to jump in to rescue her. Ryu then appears and starts to kick him, telling him it is enough and that he must remember. Then everything becomes clear. Hal suddenly remembers their last argument at the airport, the one when he sold her buttons. After the fight, Kurumi boarded the plane that later exploded in the air. She was the one who died on that plane, not Hal. Then we see the doctor and the old man talking. Doctor explains to Kurumi's grandfather that after all that happened, Hal thinks he is a robot, and that he cannot accept the fact that Kurumi has died. The old man then tells his robot assistant that it will be turned into Kurumi to help Hal on his way to recovery. It was all about him since the very beginning. He is the one who suffers. Hal then remembers and confronts his demons. He is seen talking to Kurumi for the last time. She expresses her love for him and she says her final goodbye. Ryu begs him to come back and tells him he can be normal again. After that, Hal meets Kurumi's grandfather. Hal inquires what happens to dead people, and he responds that they stay with us forever. After that, Hal is seen in his shop, smiling and recovering. He accepted the reality and decided to move on with his life. However, he will always love Kurumi as if she were still alive. Hey, thank you for staying all the way till the end. If you enjoyed the video, give it a like. It takes only a second, but it means everything to us. Have a great day and see you in the next video.